There he is in the freezer on top of the frozen caribou steaks, a skinned wolf head who's still got eyeballs to stare at me through the plastic wrap. I run to my little brother. You gotta put it back when you're done. Years later, it sits next to my digital recorder. Faded skull, bullet hole between the eyes, cool shades, and a Beaver Canada's hat. Meet my co-producer, Slocum Tutter Cheek. Slocum Tutter Cheek means you might turn the other cheek, but it could take a while. Welcome to Bull Shark. Today's theme, better a podcast than a flashback to a macrame vest. The history of my family, l'histoire de ma famille, in uniform, is checkered. My friend Mike Straw lived in a brick house. If I asked him to come over, he would. Wait a minute, that's someone else's stories, and it has pigs.
What?
At 14 years old, I was the worst cadet ever. I marched the wrong way. Whenever the pimply-faced 16-year-old corporal screamed at me, I giggled. I hated haircuts, I hated standing in line, I hated being bossed around, and the barracks smelled like piss. So why did I stick around? 2-hour bus ride every Saturday night. When I got to the range, they made me sign in. They didn't ask for ID, they didn't ask any questions about my age. They gave me a box of shells and a rifle so I could blast away.
Oh.
A couple years younger than the poster children for the biggest PR ever, Vietnam, 2 years later I got my own lethal weapon. I took it apart, wrapped it in newsprint, and dropped it behind the rec room wall. 17 years later, I understood why. There are ruins in Colombia where cows wander about, tripping on magic mushrooms. They like to be known as the Dairy Queen Cartel. Cowtail. Can you tell? It's a cowtail.
Cowtail.
I'm looking for the last and little sugarcane toad. Tell me my fortune where the river grieves the road. I'm looking in the alley for a sugar cream honey. Think black and blue is cool. Keep that silver motor running. I'm looking in my boot for a scorpion tail. Tell me my fortune where the river grieves the rail. I'm looking in the alley for a dimeback honey. Think black and blue is cool. Keep that silver needle jumping. It's monkey in the middle with the lantern-back widow. The jackals get a lot, I hear the lions get a little. It's triple time, double talk, Robin Hood and Rolling Rock, a long, long live on. Don't tell on my fortune. Think black and blue is true. Keeps on jumping in. It's monkey in the middle with the lantern-back widow. The jackals get a lot, I hear the lions get a little. It's triple time, double talk, Robin Hood and Rolling Rock, a long, long live on. Don't tell on the fortune. She was just a local girl from a faraway planet. A fine black pearl in a fine china cabinet. A savvy punk and a 17. A fortune teller fever of 103. I'm looking for the last and little sugarcane toad. Tell me my fortune where the river grieves the road. I'm looking in the alley for a sugar cream honey. Think black and blue is cool. Keep that silver motor running. A buckle in the middle, won't you give me just a little? The vultures get a lot, I hear the valiant get a little. It's critical time for double talk, Robin Hood and Rolling Rock, a long, long live on. Don't you want a barrel? Don't you want a hula boat? Don't you want to get some soap? Don't you want a jelly roll? Don't you want a better roll? Don't you want a hula bowl? Don't you want to get some soul? Don't you want a jelly roll? Jelly roll.
Like anyone who grew up poor, my dad was obsessed with deals. One day he came home from a yard sale with a bedpan and 2 bottles of tequila. I have no idea what kind of punch he planned to make and no idea who would drink it. After playing clubs in Toronto, Ottawa was an architect's model with moving parts. I was bored an hour before I even hit town, so we spent our nights driving around looking for a buzz, which was like looking for a strip club in Vatican City. One day I got really desperate and I called my dad. He told me, "I'm not giving you the tequila. Last time I drank that stuff, all I remember is running down the road at sunrise with Mexican cops shooting at me. I guess Mexican 14-year-olds don't go to the gun range because they never got them." I spent 3 years working at a summer camp, and late at night when I had nothing to do, I'd go into the kitchen and I'd wrap myself in tinfoil. Then I'd walk through the woods so that anybody out there at 3 o'clock in the morning would see a shiny man and think it was Klaatu the robot. So when do we, all shiny and crinkly in the dark, get our stripes? We get our stripes when we have our kids and do the hardest thing. The hardest thing is to show up every day. It's to know they're individuals and not copies of us. When my son was 3 or 4, he signed up for T-ball. I remember him up at the plate, getting ready to swing and singing "Fly Me to the Moon." So a little while after that, we got him into Beavers, which is the lowest echelon of Cub Scouting, and they had this tradition. At the start of every meeting, all the boys would sit in a circle. There was a coffee can in the middle, and there was a ratty little stuffed beaver. Each boy would run up, drop a quarter in the can, and then pat the beaver. My son got up, and the death match began. For minutes, he circled, he crouched, he looked sideways, he timed it, he grabbed the beaver, he rolled on the floor. They fought and they fought and they fought. And then finally the leader said, "Would you please go sit on the bench?" So, scouts had doubts. There was no love for a cub. Now pick up the wolf head, repeat after me. I will honor the armor of shiny foil. I will turn left, not right. When I am 10 and the pellet ricochets so I shoot myself between the eyes, I shall not blink. Now give me my medal of brave distinction.
I got the blue ribbon blues. Yeah, I'm a blue ribbon fool. In the big of a love, and there's no heat in your oven. I got the blue ribbon, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, rang-rang, strutting with the chain gang, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, rolling with the low brow. I got this thing about that, can't do a thing about that. And the heart is a lust and this parade is a bust. I got this thing about heebie-jeebie black cat chewing on the fat back, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, running with the low brows. When it comes to country matters, manners are everything, and all is kind of fair in love and war. When the gavel calmed down and it's caveat loving, it only hurt a little, then a little bit more now. I got this thing about that, can't do a thing about that. And the heart is a lust and this parade is a bust. I got this thing about hoo-ha-hoo-ha, rang-rang, strutting with the chain gang, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, running with the low brows, heebie-jeebie black cat, chewing on fat back, throwing down your trousseau, sinking like Jacques Cousteau, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, hoo-ha-hoo-ha, mow-mow, hoo-ha-hoo, hoo-ha-hoo, hoo-ha-hoo. Ahoo-ha-ho, 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 Yahoo, ha, ha.
One more thing. I had promised that I was going to finish each podcast by giving some sound advice. Today's sound advice is get a hold of Terence Trent D'Arby's Dance Little Sister and play it as loud as you can.
And next time, don't turn left or right. Come see us on YouTube and SoundCloud.
And if a shiny silver man tells you to salute, don't giggle.
Because it's probably the Tin Man.